Hey guys, how's it going? Robert Syslo here, Director of Production for Cardone TV, and I'm back again on Ask the Pro. Kind of doing a little bit something different, just doing a checkup with, he's a serious dude. He was down here on Power Players. He's got the Best of House award in the industry for landscaping, design, architecture. This guy is the guy you need to know. Steve Griggs, my man, is here. Steve, how you doing, bro?
Good, Rob. How you doing in Miami?
Dude, I'm good. Is it getting cold up there yet or what?
No, today was actually 90 degrees. Hot day today.
Oh, man, I remember those days. It teases you. You're a little bit warm in September, and then it smacks you in the face.
I'd say the bottom's going to drop out here in a few weeks when they start turning the clocks back.
Oh, yeah, of course. So, look, man, the purpose of this is, you're advertising with us. You were on the show with Power Players, kind of wanted to see how things are going, so you could tell me a little bit about that. And then we're going to get into, you're a seasonal business, so your business kind of depends on the weather and what happens outside. And I know there's a lot of people that might be involved in that kind of an industry or any business that has other factors that depend on it, like, anything along those lines. So the real intention of this was to tell our audience, if you're in that kind of a business, what exactly could you do to keep the money coming in? What steps could you take as a business owner, entrepreneur, to kind of keep the flows going, even though you might have a sudden drop-off in traffic or a necessity for your product or service? So why don't you tell us a little bit about that, Steve, and then we'll roll right into it.
So the business is landscape design, and we do high-end residential landscaping in the New York area. The problem is you have very long, cold, dark winters, and you have, a very short season. April, May, and June, people don't want you around their properties. July and August, they want to, enjoy it. And then you have another short term, September and October, and then you're in for this long winter. So when I reached out to you, I says, Rob, I got to get out of here for the winter. It's cold up here. And that's when we decided to talk about, hey, Steve, what do you do in the off season? So being on Cardone University and being with you guys have me thinking about synergy businesses and how they commingle. And also, we actually started a construction business in New York City where we renovate apartments for management companies, and that's kind of been flowing along with everything that we got going on.
So what you ended up doing was you were studying the platform, studying the program, and you said to yourself, okay, well, the landscaping might not be so successful right now because it's going to drop to below 30 degrees, and I don't, who's going to be really be planting right now. But you looked at another avenue where there's money, which is construction. So what made you decide, hey, I need to get another source of income during this kind of off season?
Just by being on Cardone University and listening to you guys and directing me and getting the brand awareness. And basically I'm saying, well, wait a minute. I have 6 months that I work. The other 6 months is downtime. I have the bills still coming in, the mortgages. I got to make something happen. I have the staff. I have the manpower. What can these guys do? So you bring them inside. They're all trained carpenters, masons. They're basically labor force that you can segue them into other types of trades. And it's been great.
Excellent. So that's the entrepreneurial spirit. I know you said you got it from Cardone University, but what was the switch? What was the thing that you told yourself, you said, hey, I have to do this right now? What was that little moment for you?
The moment was Grant, when we were talking, he's like, you got to get rich. You got to get going on. You have to have multiple flows of income, right? So for 20 years, I just depended on the landscaping and basically try to sock away money for the winter like a squirrel. And you would basically deplete your savings, and you start over in the spring again from zero, and you have to build it up. And it just wasn't working. And then when you talked about the synergy and how you make two businesses work together and symbiotic, I think that was the word he used, these symbiotic relationships. And that was an easy switch over for me because we have the staff and we have the know-how and then we have the contacts, really.
Perfect. So when it comes back to being an entrepreneur, it's more about maybe not depend. You might have one core idea that you want to work with, like you're good at landscaping, but there's also another opportunity that exists out here. And if you're especially in a business that's dependent on seasons or dependent on specific things that could directly affect customers coming to you, you have to look for something a little bit outside of the box but also relates to what you're currently doing.
Correct. So when we do construction, it's the same thing as doing landscape construction outside, whether it's building a pool house or a cabana or an outdoor kitchen, when you bring the guys inside, it's the same mechanics. You have plumbers, carpenters, electricians, and you all have to, work together to get the common goal, which is to finish the apartment, or a rooftop penthouse that we're working on right now.
Right, right. So why was that so important for you to figure out the symbiotic thing that could exist with your company?
Because it was an easy transition. I mean, it was a no-brainer. When the light went off and he says you got to get multiple flows of income and create a symbiotic relationship, I'm like, wow, I have construction contacts in New York City. We do a lot of work for construction company owners, and it was very easily flow. We hooked up with a couple of management companies, and we've definitely building it up, actually. It's almost half and half of my business right now.
Oh, wow, that's incredible. So what advice would you give an entrepreneur right now, kind of in your similar position, and they're like, how do I even start to think about doing a symbiotic thing? How do I create a secondary business within the business?
How do you create a second? Wow. I mean, if you're in a seasonal business, let's say, and you're selling ice cream in the summer at the Jersey Shore, you know what that's like.
Yeah.
You're from up north.
Yeah.
The boardwalk shuts down. I don't know what they do in the wintertime. Maybe they pack up and go to Florida. But by living in New York, the cost of living is so high, you got to make a lot. You have to work pretty much 12 months out of the year to get it going. So what was your question again? I'm sorry.
What advice would you give to an entrepreneur looking to expand and create a secondary flow, a secondary part of their business?
I mean, like a lot of landscapers do like snow removal, right? So that's their winter income, let's say. But like last winter, we had no snow. So what do? I mean, you can't leave it all up to chance. You have to almost find out what is your core, what's your strengths. And some of the other stuff we do in the winter is we design projects for the following year. It's like when you go to Florida in the wintertime, your plane ticket's going to be more as opposed to in the winter as it is in the summertime. So I advise, clients to listen. You look thinking about a landscape project, get on the boat early, design it in the wintertime. It'll be much cheaper than trying to get me to design it in the springtime. You just have to try to think outside the box. And really, I didn't start thinking outside the box until I got with you guys. And my train of thought and my thinking is totally turned around. I don't even think the same as I did anymore.
That's good. And that's imperative. I mean, I know for me, it's all about how do I expand? What's the next step? What's the next thing? Okay, I'm here. How could I expand what I'm already doing, which I know a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners think about. So the biggest thing I took out of today is you got to look at what your strengths are, your core of what the business actually is, and see where the opportunity exists, especially in seasonal businesses. Where does that opportunity exist to go sideways for you, your company, and in the future of the actual business, so that you're not, like Steve said, draining all of your savings or living off of something that you work so hard to create, and you don't have to start over from zero again. So, Steve, I really appreciate you taking the time. Just a few minutes out of today, I wanted to give the audience an update of what's going on with you, what we've been doing down here, and anything else that you wanted to add?
Yeah, just about. I want to talk about you and what you've done for my business. I mean, this is the first time I've ever been on this Skype thing you got me doing here, so it's kind of weird talking to a little green dot on my computer. But I've been on you guys. I met you in cold January day when I was sitting around doing nothing, getting ready for the spring, and then we developed a relationship, and we've been hitting it hard ever since January. And my business has totally turned around 180. I can't even keep up with it all right now. I mean, it's been great. You guys have been great coming down there, meeting Grant and being on the Power Players. Everything is just taken off. So last bit of advice is just keep working hard for everybody and think outside the box, because there's so many opportunities out there if you just get outside the box. And thank you for Rob on the Skype thing we're doing here. It's very cool.
I love it, Steve. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again next week on Ask the Pro. Grant and I will bring somebody here that can share their expertise and their professionalism about their industry that you can take tips and advice from for yours. Take care. Have a good one.
Thanks, Rob. Take care.